This is the Realize Your Wealth podcast by Aretec Wealth. We want you to be wealthy. We want you to feel wealthy. We want you to realize your wealth.
All right, welcome to the Realize Your Wealth podcast. Very excited to get into things today. We have a special guest, our team member, our business partner, Keeley Simpson is here. So very excited to welcome Keeley. Dive into things today. So what do we have on the agenda today, Greg?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a different episode. It's not just me and Will going back and forth at you. We have Keeley here as well, who's a vital part of our team. She's our CEO. She's our CCO. She's a portfolio manager. She basically just does it all. Me and Will work for her. She's the boss. She's running the show. So what we want to do is just kind of learn a little bit more about her, but also kind of dive into Will and myself's background. Like, one thing to know about Keeley, she has a very strong investment background. She's been doing this a long time and has a ton of experience.
Oh yeah, so looking forward to getting into this, and so Keeley's the boss at the office. She's the boss at home. She's the mother of our 4 children. So she's a very, very key, important member of the team, and she's 17 years in the business and has focused a long time on female investors and women in money, and it's a nice, very nice dynamic and new dimension to our team to have Keeley working with us. So Keeley, looking forward to having you on here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so excited to join the first podcast episode as the new team here. Really excited about it. So thank you both. Just a little bit of background about myself. Will and Greg did a nice introduction to my years of experience in the industry, and so that's great. I think investing was a vital component of my upbringing. I used to read Basic Points when I was in high school. My great uncle Don Cox was the investment strategist of a big financial institution for a long time, and Basic Points was what I basically read growing up. Read his books, really got into the nitty gritty of learning how to invest off of what's on page 19 of the newspaper. A little bit different than how you guys have been managing the portfolios, obviously, and everybody has a different strategy, but Uncle Don's strategy certainly did well for him and for his portfolios for a long time. After graduating from university and getting into the business, just used all of that investment experience growing up and through my upbringing, and basically getting to talk to him a lot and learn about some tips and tricks that he has gained over the years. And then just got into my seminars for the McGill Women's Alumni Association. So that's how I started out in the field, and did my seminars every year for a long time for the McGill Women's Alumni Association, talking about some of the unique challenges that women face in planning for retirement, because a lot of women will leave the workforce for a period of time as they have children, and Sydney is about to experience that same thing. So as women, sometimes one of the challenges, of course, is having a bit of a smaller nest egg to work off of, because if we're leaving the workforce to help raise children, then obviously, we're not getting compensated for that. So that's a bit of a challenge. And then some of the other unique challenges too, obviously, just the dynamics. Usually men are the primary decision makers for the household when it comes to the financial decisions. So it was just really important for me to try to educate women investors. It's been a passionate aspect of being a portfolio manager over the years, is really having that opportunity to have really deep client relationships, especially with the women investors that we serve. So that's been a good part of my story and how I started off in the business.
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting points, is that just because women live longer than men, and when you talk about women and wealth, is there's a huge transfer of wealth that's already underway, that the men are passing away, women inheriting the wealth, so women are going to and are controlling the vast majority of wealth. So it's a huge component of wealth management of the business, and we find that with a lot of clients that their spouse oftentimes is probably not as engaged as maybe they would like or we would like, and that's a very new, interesting element and dimension that we've had Keeley come and sit in on a lot of meetings where maybe traditionally Greg or myself dealt with one spouse, usually the husband, and not always, right? I don't want to stereotype here or anything, but that's sometimes what will happen. And then here we've been able to bring Keeley in and much more comfortably deal with both spouses, which is awesome, and I think it's just a really, really good thing. And so women are becoming and should be more involved in the wealth management aspect. And so at Aretec we're working to change that, and that's something that we now have that new dimension and element to the business.
Yeah, and the thing that I found, it actually having Keeley here, it adds another dynamic where we're a family business, right? And then talking about money and wealth, we're making that kind of a family priority for our clients. So not just dealing with one spouse, but actually dealing with both spouses and having like good conversations where otherwise we might have only spoken to one or the other. So we're a family business and we're making this more a family conversation, which is kind of a unique and different dynamic.
Yeah, and it's awesome, and that's what it's all about. And I mean, look, the other thing I would say is, as our chief executive officer, our chief compliance officer, and our portfolio manager, there's very few people who would have been able to establish Aretec the way that Keeley did. She went in front of the OSC, the regulators, and was grilled and interviewed for hours on end, and it's a very, very intensive process to get a portfolio management firm registered, and she was able to do that, and that just speaks to her investment experience, her skill, her credibility in terms of this. So to me, there's very few people in Canada, especially from the wealth management and the retail space, that would have been able to do that. So that's an awesome thing. So Keeley, maybe tell us, what are you enjoying?
Thank you.
What are you enjoying most about Aretec so far?
Well, I mean, it's a great new chapter for all of us, and I think the clients are really excited. I think the team really excited about the future of Aretec. And obviously getting to work with you and Greg has been awesome, and it's a whole new chapter for me, and it's really exciting to be able to work with energetic colleagues who are all in and all in for the clients and for the new business. And it's really great to work on challenges together that really allows us to develop and basically raise the bar on every aspect of our dealings from day to day with clients, or just overall business challenges. So that's been a really exciting part of the new business.
Yeah, there's new challenges and new things to work on every day. And Keeley's been running a lot of the business side, which is great, and it allowed Greg and I to focus on the client side and the relationship side, and really the portfolio side and driving results. And Keeley's there managing day-to-day and operational side of the business, but we also have Courtney and Irene and Roman on our team helping with all that. So it really is a team approach. Like, we can't do things on our own. We have to do them in partnership and collaborating with others. I mean, one of the other things I just wanted to highlight, I don't know if we quite fully elaborated on that, but Uncle Don was a very, very well-known strategist on Bay Street and Wall Street for a long time. So Keeley comes from a very strong pedigree and lineage in the investment space when it comes to mining and commodities. So Don was known as the king of the commodities. And I'll write an email every now and then, but I don't think it was anything like Don's
basic points
written work. Yeah, his investment journal, and he's written books. If anyone, some clients have certainly remember him and have heard of him. But if you look him up, there's lots of work that he's done over the years. But so that's the that's what we're working with here, which is awesome to add that element to the team. So Keeley's a multi-dimensional member of Aretec, which is awesome.
I call her the glue, right? She's the operator. She keeps things together. She makes sure everything runs smoothly. So she's the glue. She's in between us. She's just making sure everything is operating as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, we're just working for her.
Yeah.
We're just working for her. So, all right. So we want to do a little bit of a background on everyone. So we want to talk a little bit about Greg, who everybody knows. Greg's been my right hand man, my second in command for a long time, close to 7 years now. And Greg is another incredible operator. He's the most disciplined man that we know. He ran two marathons this year. He's got a baby on the way. This is a guy who gets things done, and we lean on him, rely on him for that. So he's been critical to Aretec in our first few months here and getting everything going and off the ground, and critical to the business for many years. So welcome,
Yeah.
Greg. But we just wanted to hear a little bit on your background and your bio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Appreciate that. And yeah, I'll get into my story a little bit. And I grew up playing competitive sports, very similar to Will. We have a very kind of similar origin story. And then in university, I think a lot of people know, but I played at Ryerson for 5 years. I played soccer there, and during that time, I actually had 4 surgeries, 3 on my hip, 1 on my foot. So I missed a lot of time. My university career was probably not like a lot of other people's university career, but it taught me about perseverance, adversity, all good traits for what we're doing here. And the good thing that came about that is that at a very young age, I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was about 18 or 19, that I wanted to be an investment advisor. I wanted to work in wealth management. So, it was a little bit of a blessing. And, in university, I was doing extra courses on the side to make sure I could get, all my designations, all my courses, credentials as quickly as possible. And really, when I graduated from university, I started working with Will, right away. So it was my first job out of university and my only one. And really, my first year with Will, my job, I think, was kind of more in an apprenticeship capacity. It was to learn about the business, learn how to work with clients, learn how to manage money. And over time, I kind of went from apprentice to portfolio manager to partner here at Aretec, right? And I credit basically all of that to Will for giving me the ability to grow and evolve. Not a lot of people out there are as focused on helping grow their team. And Will was obviously instrumental in that. And really my goal from day one is I just want to I want to be like Will. I want to talk like Will. I want to interact like Will does with clients. And my biggest compliment that I've received is when clients mix up me and Will. They're like, they're not sure if they're talking to Will or Greg.
Yeah, they forget about me, and they just call me Greg all the time
you guys
now.
even have the same risk score, like your risk score on the risk questionnaire. You guys are identical.
There you go.
Exactly. So I'm very thankful. Working these last 7 years with Will has been the best. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now if it weren't for him, and I'm excited about this new chapter here at Aretec.
Yeah, it's awesome. So looking forward to the future here, and yeah, Greg has been absolutely critical to the team and continues to be, and he became one of the youngest portfolio managers in the old world. I've never seen anyone work like Greg and as hard as he is. And the thing to know too is we have three portfolio managers as part of the Aretec team. So three partners, portfolio managers. And when it comes to our strategy, the tactical wealth portfolio, I mean, Greg probably understands it next to myself. I think he understands it second best in the world, and Keeley's probably right there because she's heard me around the dinner table talk about it for years. So if you're talking about the two best people to help and support and bring this business and the investment strategy to life, it's Greg and Keeley, and they're both frankly, I'm much more of a big picture guy. I'm much more of a strategy guy, and they're both incredibly attentive to detail and very good in terms of follow through and getting things done. Where I'm sometimes thinking about the big stuff when it comes to markets and portfolios and clients, and not necessarily every little detail, but they're here to help on that and support. So it really is a team effort here. But it's awesome to have you here,
Yeah.
Greg, in the next evolution of the business, and this is the future of wealth management.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and appreciate that. But there's Keeley, there's myself, but then there's also our fierce leader, Will. Right, so none of this would have been possible if it weren't, well, obviously we all played a role here, but obviously Will is our commander in chief. He's our leader in all this. So Will, maybe just give a little bit of background on yourself.
Oh, where do I start? I've been at this for 15 years, and I've always believed it's a business that's based on relationships and results. And just about every client I have, I just built client by client, just worked hard, built relationships on a foundation of trust and delivering results when it comes to your money, your investments, and your wealth. And that's years and years and years. And I built pretty much from scratch, from nothing, a pretty large business. I think one of the larger businesses in Canada in terms of wealth management, along with Greg and the team, and built it up from nothing to where it was. And we made a decision a couple months ago to really start over again and start over in a new world, which is Aretec Wealth. My deep conviction and belief is that this is the future of wealth management. We are private, independent fiduciaries for our clients. We work for you and you alone, and this is where we can best serve our clients. We can best help you with your investments, your portfolio, your wealth. This is where we can best help you realize your wealth. So, I've said this before, but this is not something we would have done. I mean, really, we walked away from a very, very large, very successful business to start over again. And the reason being is I deeply believe this is something that is in the best interest of our clients, our investors, their money, their wealth, our team. We've been joined by a team of 6, and of course for ourselves individually, but it would not be something that we would have done collectively if we didn't feel it was in the best interest of absolutely everybody that's involved. It's also something that I don't take lightly, in that we could have walked away with a big paycheck to go to another large financial institution, essentially taken a payday and sold out. But I have invested a significant amount of personal wealth to get this business off the ground and going, and that's really where it is already. It's already up and running, and probably larger than most wealth management practices you come across in Canada. So we're in the first few months here, but we're already up and running and rolling. And there's a whole host of reasons, but I see it as the future, and I'm someone who's very future oriented. I'm not going to rest on past successes, and I'm going to keep trying to drive wealth, create wealth for my clients, for my investors. And this is the place that we can best do this. This is the place we can best help you realize your wealth. Aretec Wealth is the future of wealth management.
Yeah, the one thing that I've learned with working with Will is that he's always looking to, and I'm sure Keeley can attest to this, improve, evolve, get better, never happy with status quo, never wants to be comfortable, always wants to push the bounds of what's possible. And our clients that have been with us for a long time, they've seen that with how we've enhanced the portfolio, how we've enhanced the planning experience, and now how we've enhanced our podcast and our video elements. So one thing to know about Will is that he's always looking to drive better results. He's constantly thinking. He calls me late at night, early in the morning, on the weekends, with new ideas of what we can bring to the business and how we can add value to clients.
Right, and you don't want, in my opinion, as an investor, you don't want an advisor that's comfortable. You don't want an advisor that's fat and happy. And a lot of the advisors out there, that's frankly how they are. So they're not hungry about driving results and returns for you. They're not hungry about the service and relationship element. They're fat. They're happy. They're comfortable where they are. I am very, very, very motivated, especially in this world, to make sure I have very happy clients. So, that's on the investment side, that's on the portfolio side, that's when it relates to, your financial plan, your retirement plan, your wealth plan, the whole family office experience, and it relates to, us as fiduciaries, the client experience, the whole advisor relationship. We walked away from a lot to come into this world, but it means you're getting it's almost like you're getting almost like a rookie advisor, in the sense that we're starting over from scratch. That's the level of motivation and commitment we have to clients, but we got a ton of experience behind our belt, and so that's what clients are seeing. They're seeing a new and better version of their advisor, a version of Will and Greg and Keeley that's fired up, that's motivated, that's excited to bring the best of wealth management to you and your money and your family. And so that's rare to me in this industry, and that's part of the reason that we did this, because we knew we could do this better. We knew we could build and improve on what we'd already been doing, and we were willing to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. And so I think that's what you see is like we want you to we want you to be comfortable with your money. So in business, we're uncomfortable. We're doing things in our business so we can continue to grow and evolve. So you can be very comfortable with your money. You can be comfortable with your wealth. You can be wealthy. You can feel wealthy. You can realize your wealth, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and also we have a pretty big, we have a long runway ahead of us as well, in terms of time horizon, in terms of how long I think we're going to be at this for. I think the average age of advisors in Canada is pushing 55 plus.
Maybe more like
maybe
60 or 65. It's something like that, right?
Yeah, and so our although we have, you have 15 years, Greg has 7, I have 17 years of experience in the industry. We probably have another 20, 30, 40 years ahead of us. You're never going to retire.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
I don't see Greg going anywhere, and neither do I. So, at the end of the day, I think there's a long runway ahead of us as well, and we're going to be at this for a really long time, which I think it's important to note, too, that, you felt so strongly about making a shift and a change to do better for all of the clients and for the team, for your family. And so you did take a big leap in order to accomplish that. You could have stayed in the current environment that you were in for another 20, 30 years, been very comfortable. I think you would have been a little bit unhappy about it. And so I think this is a really nice, a nice new chapter, and it's a big leap that the team has taken. But I think as we're trucking, as we're going along here and moving ahead into the future, I think everybody is getting more and more comfortable, more and more less questions about fiduciary responsibility or the custodian, because of the private custodian is a new concept for a lot of people, and I think that's just really it's a key component that.
Yeah, look, we're going to be here a long time. I would say minimum my horizon is 25 years, and look, for anyone who's been in business, started a business, we certainly didn't do this for a payday or a paycheck. It's the absolute opposite, that long term we see way more potential in this business model for sure, but that's when I look out 10, 20, 30 years down the road. It's something that we're very, very committed to the future of this business, and it's already off and running and growing, and it's doing incredibly well here. And look, we're very, very grateful for all the support and long-term relationships and everybody who's reached out to us, which is awesome. And look, we're looking forward to the future. So we have the team in place, we have the people, right? We have the portfolios, we have the strategy, we have the plan to get you to where you need to go. And so we want you to be wealthy, we want you to feel wealthy, we want you to realize your wealth. And that's what Aretec is all about. It's for Canadian families who don't want a good enough experience with their money, but an experience that's the best it can possibly be. And so we're here for you. We're working for you. We're here for your family, your friends, colleagues, anyone who you think we might be able to help. We are here working for you. We want you to realize your wealth. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we will be back with you next week. Appreciate it.
Thank you.